Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hi dear friends, today we are back with our book Living Spring by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier. Today it's a beautiful chapter again by Emmanuel, chapter 124. Do not become weary. And Paul in I can't get the name. Let us not become weary of doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And Emmanuel explains, when the chisel began to smite the block of raw marble, the stone is despair, complained against his fate. But later, when it saw that it was admired as one of the most beautiful artistic conceptions in the world, it praised the chisel and had broken it apart. As the caterpillar was moving along with extreme difficulty, it saw a lovely, fragrant flower and rebelled against its ugly body. One day, however, the vicious body in which it had suffered became an agile, graceful butterfly. Then it praised the ugly body, with which nature had prepared it for a happy flight. When the red-hot iron was put on the anvil, it became frightened and it suffered unwillingly. But when it found itself performing an important function in the machine of progress, it smiled gracefully at the fire that had purified and ennobled it. When the seed was thrown into the dark hole, it wept and despaired and asked why it had been abandoned so utterly. However, when it found itself becoming tall and lush, it moved towards the sun and made itself a respected and benevolent tree, blessing the soil that had isolated. Do not weary of doing good. Those who do not understand your goodwill today will praise your devotion and effort tomorrow. Never despair. Help always. Perseverance is the foundation for victory. Do not forget that in your farming of love and light, you will reap later, but only by going forward amid sweat and confidence without becoming discouraged will you achieve the divine harvest. A beautiful chapter to inspire us again today. Emmanuel uses the words of Paul, let us not become weary of doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And with Emmanuel's explanation, he's trying to tell us that we should never give up regardless of what we go through. If we feel it's hard, we know that there is change coming. Like he explained about the caterpillar, how he explained about the chisel, the raw block of marble, and he uses a seed and a tree, all these beautiful explanations. But everything should go through hardship to change, to get to the end point of beauty. So, beloved friends, what Emmanuel is trying to tell us is if we go through rough times, if we feel that we go through a learning and things are not, you are not always at peace, we know that God is helping us. We know that we are in a place of progress. So regardless of where we are in life, what is happening around us, we should see it as a way of purification. Purification, like Emmanuel says, do not be weary of doing the good. So there was a beautiful story that I read that came from a beautiful lady that I follow on Facebook from Brazil. And there was a beautiful story about this good lady that went to hell because the angel made a mistake. But she went there and she did good. And she was taken back to heaven. And she said, but she found hell not to be that bad because she felt useful in doing the good. So which shows us that what we go through sometimes, the mind that we have, the way that we think that things are bad. But if we change our thoughts into a progressive way, in a progressive way, we would see that everything is here and love, like Emmanuel says, love and light. And that is what we are here to do, to learn, to evolve, and to show unconditional love, to love one another. So if you're in a place, beloved friends, where things are not okay, just thank God. Let's thank God through all these trials that we go and say thank you, because it is a purification. It is an act of love. That is why He treasures us enough to put us through this, because there's a lot of people that are not ready to learn. And if we are ready to learn, we have to say thank you. So, like Emmanuel says, do not become weary. Let us not become weary. And let us focus on the good of the love and the light that we can give, like that beautiful lady. Um, doesn't matter where we are. Let's be the love and the light. And he says that we will reap later, but only by going forward amid sweat and confidence. Without becoming discouraged, will you achieve the divine harvest, so that we know that there will be a harvest in the end. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, God bless.